A duck for breakfast, I hear you ask. Yeah, a duck for breakfast.
We are elevating it slightly, but basically it is congee, a rice porridge, very, very popular in many parts of the world. This is kind of a Chinese version, and it uses short grain rice. That's where it's going to start. So think like our porridge or Scottish porridge would be with oats. This is made with rice, short grain rice, and to start off with, we just need to briefly rinse it. I didn't know much about congee. I've eaten it maybe twice, so we had to ask you guys. We've got loads of your tips, and this is how we're going to make it. Briefly soak the rice, and you'll see the starch that comes out. What was clean water becomes very cloudy. Once you've done that, we can drain it, and we're going to cook it for a long, slow cook in a lot of liquid. So the rice is going to go into a really big pot.
Make sure it's a big pot at this point, otherwise you're in for a very tricky situation.
Yeah, you might look at that and go, oh, I don't need a big pot for 150 grams of rice. What you do need is a big pot for all of this. 1.5 litres of chicken stock and 1 litre of water. That is going into our rice. Look at that. That doesn't look like enough in there, does it?
Now, there was a comment as well saying if you did want to use chicken stock, you could use leftover fat as well.
Yes, which is amazing. This is kind of awesome comfort food, and that was a great suggestion. So we're going to cook it for about 2 hours, but the flavouring, not just in our chicken stock, comes from Chinese rice wine. Now, this is an amazing flavour.
It smells a bit like beer.
It reminds me a little bit of sherry. Sweet, quite savoury.
It is sherry-like.
A bit
Very
sherry-like.
savoury though, yeah.
So you've got the chicken stock, you've got the water, you've got the rice. The Chinese rice wine also going in there, and it's going to cook down for 2 hours. Now, you can kind of reduce that down a little bit before if you want. 1 pot cook. This is like super easy. Okay, so I'm going to go in there.
Lazy.
So look at that. It does kind of look wrong because of the ratios. But now we're going to bring it to a boil and simmer it very gently for 2 hours. In that time, a lot of the liquid will evaporate off, but more importantly, the rice breaks down and swells and thickens the liquid to a rice porridge.
In that 2 hours, should we make a breakfast?
This is breakfast.
Okay. So once it looks like really tasty wallpaper paste, does that mean it's done?
You've got the clue there, they're really tasty. So that is rice porridge. It's now gloopy, it's starchy, it's real comfort food. 2 hours in a pan, perfect. If you want to do it in a slow cooker or a rice cooker, you can do it overnight and it'll be ready for the morning. It's got the flavour of the rice wine, the chicken, and the rice. Now for all the other flavours we're going to serve with it, because you can have it all different ways.
Okay.
When I had it in Hong Kong, it was with seafood for breakfast. You can have it very, very plain, and like that, it's great for like babies or the elderly or people who are very vulnerable. If you're ill and you've not got a strong stomach, it's super easy to digest. Okay. It's like proper comfort food.
But we're going for duck.
Yeah, this is pushing the boat out, and actually this can turn it into a main course if you don't want it as breakfast. Gotcha. It's entirely up to you. What we're going to do with our duck breast is season it and then skin side down into a pan, a dry pan over a medium heat. And you want to give it a good sort of 10 minutes to colour the skin, draining off the fat as it leaks out of the breast skin.
Cool, that sounds really attractive.
So that's what we're looking for. We've been draining the duck fat off as we go. And what we're left with is a breast that's still pretty much raw on that side, and you've got that wonderful golden skin on that side. Now we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of hoisin and 4 tablespoons of soy. Dribble it over and around the duck, and then let's go into an oven to cook through for 5 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius.
It smells great, but it doesn't smell like breakfast.
Oh, it smells so good. Look, the duck is optional, but the duck is amazing.
Well, now it's there, it's not optional.
It's not optional now.
It needs to happen.
But what needs to happen to it is it needs to rest. So we're going to leave it just on the side for another 4 or 5 minutes or so to rest while we chop up some other garnish and other bits of fresh flavour. Spring onion, as fine as you can get it, matchsticks of ginger and some fresh coriander. Pretty much good to go, but have a taste of this congee just before we do. It's subtle, but it's creamy.
It doesn't taste how it looks.
No, so much
It looks really
better.
stodgy and feeling and gloopy, but it's fresh.
It's beautifully delicious and delicate. You can season it, as you guys said, with white pepper and soy to taste, and then we're going to serve it up with all of these beautiful garnishes. That's going to go over.
Oh!
And that is perhaps a slightly more elevated version of congee, but it is still delicious breakfast, sorted.
Thank you.
See what you think. Get some of the congee on its own. Get some of the duck. Mix it all in with the ginger.
Ben, we know how to eat.
Well, no, he's just gone straight in for duck.
Whoa.
I mean, there's a lot of duck there.
That's a lot of flavour. A lot of flavour that you don't expect at breakfast. I like it.
When you get those little nuggets of nut and ginger and spring onion.
That is so smooth and savoury and warming, and that is an excellent breakfast.
If you didn't feel 100%, you absolutely would after a bowl of that.
Now, if you want the recipe for this, you can get that downstairs in the basement.
Also on Friday, we've got another amazing breakfast recipe, cinnamon French toast.
And then
On Sunday,
it gets big.
oh, you two should be nervous.
No,
We've
easy.
had shakshuka, we've had congee, we have cinnamon French toast. It gets bigger.
We've got
big night
such a good plan, and it's going to blow your socks off.
Click on the left if you missed our last video, or click on the right video for one of our favourites.